I am your father.
That's impossible!
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy, Pepsi, the dude with attitude. So crack a 40 and check your rollies. Today, we are talking about the recently released first episode of The Mandalorian. I will be reviewing every episode at about a day after their release, maybe 2 days at most. And I'm excited to do it. Whether I like the series or not, which I'll get into whether or not I like the first episode in a minute. For those that don't like spoilers, the first half of this will be spoiler free. However, I'm going to warn y'all right before I do it and give y'all a chance to leave, but the second half, I'm going to dive deeper into what I really, really liked. Okay? But I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but I do want to be able to go more in depth for those that have already seen it. So sit back and listen to this if you're still debating on whether or not getting Disney Plus just for that. Because there are some people that I've heard of that just want to get Disney Plus just for the Marvel and the Star Wars TV shows. And I'm going to tell you if it's worth it. I'll also be making a separate video on whether or not Disney Plus is worth it. But I'm going to quit yapping about all that stuff and start telling you about The Mandalorian. First off, going into this, I thought this, and this is not a spoiler, like if you've seen the trailer, you know this. I thought this was taking place in between episodes 3 and 4. Revenge of the Sith and, you know, New Hope. I thought this was taking place when the Empire was taking over. I thought I was gonna see stuff like that, you know, but I was wrong. This takes place right after Return of the Jedi, and I believe this is the second thing, unless you want to count the campaign Battlefront 2, but this is the second thing that we're getting of content of something after Return of the Jedi. We have so much stuff from the Clone Wars and the original stuff. We don't really have anything that connects the dots between episode 6 and episode 7. Now granted, we have books, we have a few things here and there. We have that Resistance stuff, which I'll be watching that and telling y'all my thoughts about that in the future. But we don't really have anything super special. Now, the expanded in the EU and the Legends, as they're called, there's so much stuff after Return of the Jedi. It's insane. But that stuff isn't quote-unquote canon anymore. So, it's nice to have something like The Mandalorian come out of nowhere, and it take place after the Empire's done. You know. So, we're going to be talking about visuals, characters, story, and overall thoughts. First off, I'm going to talk about the visuals. I thought visually the way the characters looked, the way the blaster fire looked, the way the ship looked, the way space looked, and the way the planets looked was 10 out of 10. I thought it was beautiful. I thought I was watching a movie. It was just so... I loved it. It was like, you know, when you get ice cream and you get a different brand, but it tastes the same as that other ice cream. This, just like the movies. Maybe even slightly better at times. I loved the visuals. It was incredible. So my hat's off to them. 10 out of 10. Characters. Without getting into spoilers for you guys, I liked the characters that were introduced. I liked the way they looked visually, obviously. And I liked the Mandalorian, the way he acts in this. I don't want to spoil his character for you guys, but I do want to say he's different than other bounty hunters with the way he's portrayed, and that's what I like. I love it when things are different. Boba Fett and Jango Fett were a lot alike, and usually bounty hunters are a lot alike. So you know, I'm really happy that he's not the same old, you know, shoot 'em up, bang bang, which I'll get into more when I get into spoilers. A lot of cool characters. They didn't dive too much into who they were, their arcs. The first episode's only 36 minutes long, and I would have liked it to been longer. I would have liked it to be 50 minutes, maybe even an hour. But it was good. It wasn't too short. It's just I would have liked it to be just a tad bit longer. But we can't have everything we want, so I'm not gonna rate it on that really. But I will say if it was longer, I felt like we would have got more character stuff with everyone else. Which brings me, you know, and the main thing I'm talking about with characters is going to be the Mandalorian here. And the thing about the Mandalorian is it does something I didn't know it was going to do. Okay, and it didn't do it till like right in the middle or towards the end. Because you want to care about characters. A lot of people don't care about Rey. A lot of people don't care about Fenn. A lot of people... you know, there's a lot in the sequel trilogy, you know, and if you do care about them, that's fine. I like the sequels, but, you know, that's another discussion, but I am going to straight up say this. It makes you care. Like, there's one scene that finally makes you kind of care about the Mandalorian, and you're like, okay, you know, I want to find out more. And then also there's something at the end, like if that wasn't there, I was getting worried watching it for a minute because I was like, okay, so he's just a badass and he's gonna hunt people. Is that what this is gonna be? Like, I want to care about the character, and they did that. That's all, you know. And I'll lead into why here in a minute, but I'm just gonna say I'm glad that they made me care. And also, there's a little bit of intrigue with the other characters. You know, they didn't go into that, so there's a lot of room because there's gonna be 8 episodes total. So we still got 7 more episodes, and I'm glad. I feel like over time we're gonna find out about the Mandalorian, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So story-wise, the story was slightly generic at first. It seemed slightly generic at first. I can't get into why really, except that, you know, bounty hunter hunting bounties. That's the generic thing I can tell you. If you didn't know that was gonna happen, you know, then there you go. Other than that, it does change a little bit in the middle and towards the end, and then at the end you can see that it's gonna go in a certain direction that you wouldn't really expect it to, and that's what I like. I like the illusion that, oh, this is gonna be like this. Nope, we're doing something different. I like that. So the story surprised me, and it was kind of like, you know, warming up something in the microwave. It got hotter and hotter and hotter, and then the first bite was fucking excellent. You know, I feel like the ending was that bite. So story, if I was to rate story, which I know I didn't rate characters, but that's not. If I was to rate story, I'd rate it an 8 out of 10. I was really surprised. I thought it was going somewhere, and it did a completely 360. Now they can always go back and change it and go that direction. That's their choice. But, and if they do that, I'd kind of be okay with it, because, you know, there's going to be more than one season, and it's about, you know, Mandalorian who's a bounty hunter. So, yeah. If they want to actually have some bounty in there, that is perfectly fine. You know, we've yet to have that. You know, people have been wanting a Boba Fett movie, just like a Han, you know, people want a Han Solo sequel, whether other people want to accept it or not. You know, a lot of people actually did like the Solos, and they want another one. Well, they also wanted a Boba Fett movie. It doesn't look like we're going to get that. While we're going to get a Kenobi TV show, it'd be cool if we got a Boba Fett TV show, but I think that's what they're kind of giving us with the Mandalorian, except they're doing it a little different. I don't know what's going on with Boba Fett. I want, you know, in Legends, he gets out of the Zorlok pit and whatnot, but that's no longer canon. So my question is he going to just be dead, or are they going to go any more into those characters? because they really saved Boba Fett's characters in the EU with the books. So, because originally he just showed up in a few of the movie scenes, just like Jango Fett, except a little bit better. But yeah, so stories 8 out of 10. Overall, how I felt about this episode is probably a 7 out of 10. Now that's because like I said, the first part of it seemed generic. I thought I was gonna get this and that, and it was slightly slow. I'm not saying it was bad. That's just why I'm not rating it higher. 7 out of 10 for me for this. You know, it's pushing 8. I feel like the next episode's gonna be like, if I rated this off of the ending and the beginning alone, I would probably give it a straight, you know, 10 out of 10. My roommate who watched it with me, because I watched this twice, gave the whole thing a 10 out of 10. So he loved the visuals, and he really liked it. He's not really that attuned with Star Wars, so he kind of thought that the Mandalorian was Boba Fett, and he also thought the well, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. I'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, that's what I rated. Alright guys, now we're going to talk about spoilers for about 3 or 4 minutes. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video without spoilers. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for further content. We will be talking about episode 2 in the future. And yeah, I'll give y'all a second to leave. And for those that are staying, we will be diving more into my favorite scenes and what me and my roommate liked and all that. So now that they've had time to leave, I'm going to say this. The beginning scene with the Mandalorian was fucking spot on badass. Like, it was brutal, but it was Disney brutal too, because they didn't, like, it showed him shooting his web, locking it onto these people because he walked into the bar and all that, you know, and he pulls the guy through this door that, you know, kind of, opens and then shuts, and it's kind of like a slicer door. So he pulls him and then he gets sliced, but it doesn't completely show it. It just shows it shows the Mandalorian and then the feet. I loved that, but I thought it was cool. I thought it was gonna be kind of a generic bar scene, you know, something we've seen before, but it kind of had its own little spice to it. I will say that the one character, the blue character that he was picking up for a bounty, he kind of seems stale. It's not that he seemed generic, it seemed like he was trying to be funny too much. And while there was humor in this, it kind of seemed, one of the things I loved about it was it didn't try super hard to be funny like the movies do. It didn't try to do what Marvel does or what the Star Wars movie does. However, yet there were still some funny parts that weren't even meant to be funny where you laughed. So I liked that. But this guy, he just kind of seemed stupid or this or that. I didn't care for his character. But he was just a throwaway character anyway. So not a big deal at all. And I want to say the creatures in this, like on that ice planet. I say ice planet because one of the things I didn't like about this was they had cool planets, but they didn't actually give us the name of any planets. Like in the movies, they usually say at the bottom corner what the name of the planet is. In this, they didn't do that. And that's very disappointing to me. So, anyway, it had this thing come out of the ice. It looked really cool. It didn't look like a fish. It looked very different and like its own thing. So I really enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed the scene, and this goes into character development and stuff, where the Mandalorian was actually tested to be a Mandalorian, and he had to ride these little creatures. I don't remember names really well, but that was a really cool scene, and I liked that creature. It was very interesting. Me and my roommate were laughing at the way they kind of walked and hopped. It was cool. And so creatures in this were really cool, and also the aliens, you know, and the life forms that they showed in this really interesting and cool. They weren't just, you know, stuff that we'd seen before. So that was cool. For those of you that stayed, my roommate had the impression that the Mandalorian was a clone. That he was basically Boba Fett. And whenever they showed the scene with the stormtroopers, they, he thought that those were actual clones, and I had explained to him, apparently he didn't know. And for those of you that, for those of you that don't know, basically, there are no more clones. Not even in the originals. The remainder clones get put on the Death Star, and in a few places. But, you know how the stormtroopers can't shoot worth a damn? The reasoning for that is because they're actual people that enlisted and signed up. And then in the First Order, the First Order is remnants of the remains of the Empire that enlisted, and of people they abducted, like Finn and whatnot, and forced to enlist and all that stuff. So, anyway, I explained that to him. That was also a pretty cool scene. And I think my favorite scene was the ending, and also the scene where basically the Mandalorian and the droid team up together and whatnot. Slight humor there and whatnot. And there was a badass scene where he jumped up on the gun and went and just spinned and shot at everything. And then him and the droid kind of make it. You see this thing with the Mandalorian, and now I'll get more into it. The Mandalorian isn't really ruthless. I mean, he is, but he's not. He's actually a character. He has feelings. You can see that. He's not just, you know, remorseless, it seems. And that's what I really loved. Boba Fett, Jango Fett, they just seem like they like to kill and stuff. The Mandalorian, though, you can tell he's got a personality. He's different. And that's what I like. And that's what plays into the ending scene. He shoots this droid, not taking a chance of it killing this life form, you know, that they find at the ending, which I'm getting into now, which was of the Yoda race. Apparently people are also saying that that was actually Yoda. That wasn't Yoda. Yoda's dead by here. This takes place after Return of the Jedi. So, yeah. I really loved that. I watched this twice, once by myself and once with my roommate. And I'm going to watch it a third time right before I watch the next episode. And I gotta say, a lot of surprises and a lot of good stuff. This wasn't what I thought it would be. I liked the tone, and the pacing was kind of slow, but I still liked it. I feel like it's setting up for so much stuff. I'm excited for episode 2, which, for those of you that don't know, every new episode will be coming out on Friday, except for the second to last one. The second to last one comes out on a Wednesday, and then the final one comes out that Friday. There will be 8 total episodes, 7 more. I can't wait for this next episode. I'm really enjoying The Mandalorian. If I had to rate the entire first episode, I'd rate it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. And is Disney Plus worth it just to get The Mandalorian? Honestly, I think Disney Plus is worth it just for their content alone, not just The Mandalorian. But if you're a Star Wars fan and you want to know, is it worth it just for The Mandalorian? To me, yes. It's $7 for a month. So if you want to watch The Mandalorian, 8 episodes, that's $7 for a whole season. You know, I think that's definitely worth it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know I stammered a little bit. This is more of a raw review. I didn't make a lot of edits. I just wanted to be able to talk to you guys and, you know, give y'all my thoughts. Be sure to give me y'all's down in the comments. And if y'all enjoyed this, leave a like. And if you're new to the channel and you like content like this, do check out our other content and our other reviews, and subscribe if you like it. And if you didn't enjoy this video, comment down below. Let us know what we could have done better. This is my first review on a movie or a series in a while. This is actually my first review on a series ever. So, was my first review in general on TV content in a while. So hopefully I did good by you guys. I can't wait to see y'all for the second review, which will be coming this weekend, probably Saturday or Sunday, just depends. But yeah, I just want to say, check out The Mandalorian if you like Star Wars. And we will see y'all next time when you're ready for some more Dudes with Attitude. And remember, Pepsi then, Pepsi now, Pepsi forever, and most importantly, survive and endure. Destiny is all. And if you're not down with that, we only got 2 words for you. Fuck off. Have a peptastic day.